What do you do when the dream you built your life around suddenly becomes impossible? I built out my van so I could surf, train, and live free by the beach. 7 months ago, I hurt my back, and other than a couple test runs, I haven't been in the water since.
My back's absolutely killing. The sets are not ending. This is it for me. Let's go in.
The whole point of van life was freedom. Intentional time, time in nature, time by the ocean, time doing whatever I want. But now it's parked outside while I'm in here just focused on trying to get my back working again. I can't surf right now. I can't do jujitsu. Even yoga hurts right now. And it's not just the physical pain, but it really messes with your identity. When the things that define you get taken away, it leaves you feeling kind of empty. When my back started hurting, it was kind of like any other day. I was out surfing with my friends. I'd recently broken a finger in jiu-jitsu, and so I was letting that heal, and I just thought I'll surf a lot more. I got energy to burn. I want to stay active. It's a hobby I like, and it's something that I consider to be pretty healthy, so I was all in. Let's surf as much as possible. Nothing extraordinary really happened. Just the normal paddling, pop up, jump off, and then hop back on the board. And I think I might have done too many back-to-back sessions without enough chance to recover in between, because my back just kind of started aching after one session, and it seemed to get progressively worse and worse over the days and weeks, even without me surfing. Now, I've had injuries before, ligament tears, tendonitis, a couple weeks of rest or modified activity, and I'm good to go. But this one stuck around. Week 1, week 2, week 3. Now I'm at 7 months, and it doesn't really feel any different from how it did in week 1. I tried all what I think are kind of obvious and maybe even some less obvious things to get it better. I already have a stretching routine, but I tried stretching more with more emphasis on my back. That didn't really help it. In fact, I think that was hurting it more. That spinal flexion, like when you're rolling over to touch your toes, like a forward fold, I thought would like loosen up my hamstrings and feed some slack into my pelvis and back, but no, it just seemed to aggravate things more. And after doing some research, if you have a disc injury, that sort of motion can actually make the injury a bit worse. So I might have been trying to do good, but actually doing more harm. Another thing I tried, I was like, hey, stretching, maybe if that's not gonna work, maybe strengthening is the answer. Tried one day of deadlifts in the gym, and that was not the answer. In fact, that made it much worse. I actually ordered these peptides for my knee, mostly because I've had a knee injury for a lot of years, but there's 2 peptides. It's called BPC 157 and TB 500. I'm not going to go into a whole spiel about what those are. You guys can look them up if you want to. They're effectively things that people inject into their fat to help heal soft tissue injuries like ligament or tendon damage. So I was doing this Wolverine stack, and I feel like it might have had a little bit of improvement on my knee, but unfortunately it didn't quite resolve whatever's going on in my back here. Then I got an x-ray. I was diagnosed with arthritis and an extra vertebrae. Yay me. Despite the arthritis being present, it wasn't really the answer. It's a minor amount of arthritis and shouldn't really be causing any pain or symptoms at the given level that I currently have it. That might be a problem for future, Dalton, but right now it's probably not what's messing up my back. So I'm shifting my focus. I'm trying to dial it in a little bit more. So what my plan to do here is start PT. I finally got my PT referral through and got my first appointment scheduled. So in about 7 days, I'm going to be getting some physical therapy, and hopefully the therapist will be able to maybe give me a better idea of what's going on with the back here. In the meantime, I'm doing the McGill Big 3, which is like a core stability thing by Dr. Stuart McGill. This is supposed to be administered to people with back pain, and it's basically like a modified curl up, side plank, and a bird dog. Additionally, I'm avoiding any movements that sort of trigger or aggravate the back pain. I'm being really selective with my yoga poses that I go into now. I'm dialing in my diet to try to avoid anything that could be causing some low-grade inflammation. And a couple times through the day now, I'm jumping in the inversion table because it feels good, so why not? Most important of all though, and perhaps the hardest thing that I'm trying to do, is work on the mindset. It's hard to have these setbacks and stay positive and see them in a positive light, but at the end of the day, I know I still have a lot of things to be grateful for, and I'm confident that down the road here, this back pain is just going to be a distant memory and a little hiccup in the grand scheme of my life. At least that's what I'm trying to tell myself. I've actually learned a lot in the last 7 months from dealing with this injury. This injury taught me that freedom isn't just surfing every day, as great as that might be. Freedom is being able to adapt when life punches you in the gut. It forced me to slow down, to get quiet, and really think about what's important to me. With all this extra energy and no real physical task to pour myself into, I've started getting into new hobbies and old hobbies that are less physically strenuous, and those have been a fun and novel challenge for me. For instance, growing mushrooms, mycology. 5 years ago, I would have said that's a hobby for some weird old people, and now here I am, both weird and old, growing mushrooms. Here are the 3 key things that this injury really taught me. The first thing is that there's a big difference between rest and laziness. Taking intentional rest so your body can heal doesn't make you lazy, and that's something that I've had to kind of contend with. I'm used to, moving and go, and having to slow down is a real challenge for me, and that's part of the mental struggle too, feeling a little bit lazy, but also it's like I need to take it easy now so that I can go in the future. So I'm trying to remind myself of that. Number 2, to kind of segue into that, slowing down really sucks, but it does give me a chance to focus on some other things and find some other things that are really important to me. Like I said, without that energy to devote into surfing or jiu-jitsu or maybe harder workouts, I can focus on some other things and some other hobbies and building connections in other areas that I might not have otherwise given any real time to. And last but not least is healing isn't linear. It doesn't compound 1% day over day over day. And unfortunately, you might feel really great today and you might feel really bad tomorrow. And I just want to plot like an upward trend. I want to gradually be trending that way. And that's what I think I'm doing. I hope I'm doing. Some days it feels really like this, and some days it even feels like this, but I'm doing my best. I don't know when I'm going to be able to surf again. I'm not going to try to put any pressure on myself to be healed in a given time. I know that I'll be at PT next week. I'm going to keep growing my weird little mushrooms, and I'm going to keep doing my best physically and mentally. If you're going through something similar, like an injury or a setback maybe, drop a comment down below, because I'd love to hear your story. I'd love to hear some advice. I could definitely use the help and the inspiration right now. Thanks for being here. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.